Hey everybody, welcome back to Jody right now. For today's video, I am back in the kitchen and I am making a cornbread chicken casserole. It has chunks of chicken, cut up celery, corn, homemade cornbread, and I also feature making my own from scratch cream of chicken soup. So stay tuned and let's get cooking. Okay, so now I'm going to make some cream of chicken soup, condensed, for my casserole. This is something that's fairly easy, but you got to really work quickly because it can get away from you. I've got my broth, my milk, and I went ahead and made a slurry of the cornstarch, even though the recipe said you didn't have to. So I'm going to go ahead and start by melting this butter because I just want a little bit more fat with the broth. Then add in the cream and then the starch. And hopefully it will come together. So the first step here is I'm melting about 2 tablespoons of butter here in a pan over medium heat. You know, typically for a gravy, you want to start by making a roux, which is equal parts butter and flour, or some kind of fat and flour. But this cream of chicken soup is a little bit different. So first you start by melting the butter. Then once that is melted, you go ahead and add the stock. This is what gives it that chicken flavor. You want to go ahead and whisk that well so it is combined. Once that's combined and heated through, go ahead and add your cream or milk or whatever dairy product you're using. And you just keep whisking that in and making sure it gets well combined. And then last, you want to go ahead and add your cornstarch slurry. This is really what will help thicken it up. So I'm doing a little pre-whisk. And now whisking as I pour, I'm going to add this to the pan. I'm really trying to avoid having clumps, so you just got to keep whisking. And turning my heat up a little bit, because the heat is really what helps activate the thickening of the cornstarch. And of course, because I am using cornstarch and not flour, this will be gluten-free. Now I'm switching over to this different metal whisk. I really love using this for gravies and making these kind of soups. It just has a really nice flat surface that helps prevent clumps from forming in the sauce or soup or whatever you're making. This is something you just have to have patience with. You can't rush it. You gotta let the kitchen science do its magic. But I promise, if you are patient, it is worth the wait. Definitely tastes better than anything you can buy boxed. Okay, so this is about the consistency that I want it. I'm gonna let it simmer here for a few more minutes. But I'm happy to report that this was a success. I'm also gonna flavor with some seasoning. You should always season as you go. And this will thicken up a little bit as it cools too. Okay. Now I'm going to get on to assembling the rest of the ingredients. Okay, so I've got all my pieces done. Per the instruction, I have put in a large bowl the crumbled cornbread, the green bell pepper, onion, celery, cheddar cheese. Now it wants me to place half this mixture in the baking dish, put the chicken over that. Now it wants me to mix the broth with the condensed soup. My condensed soup is already still a little thin, so I'm gonna not do it exactly as it says. I'm gonna basically do like half, And then a little bit here. They're probably worried about the cornbread drying out, but I'm not as worried about that. The last thing you want is a soupy, goopy mess. Okay, it says, place half the cornbread baking dish. Looks like about half. The whole reason why I made this is because I had chicken in the fridge. Okay, now it wants me to pour this on top. And I'm not going to use this whole thing. There's no way. What I'm going to do is take the rest of this. That's one thing about cooking and recipes. You got to kind of adapt it and, you know, see what works based off your experience. But I'm super glad I'm going to get to use a lot of my leftovers here. And press it down. And I'm going to use the rest of this thicker cream of chicken soup. So this goes in a 350-degree oven for about 30 minutes. Let's see, yeah. I think that'll be good. I will show you the casserole once it's out of the oven. Okay, here we are with our finished casserole. Looks yummy, I hope it tastes yummy. Come on. Well, as you can see from my bowl, that was quite tasty.